There we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Again, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. If you can hear us, we've got a big game today. But before we get to all that, we're going to do 1 hour of the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Again, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. To my right, Mr. Harry Glantz. Good morning, Harry.
Good morning, Harvey. Good morning, Becky. And, hey, good morning to all the Spartans and Wolverines. Driving up to East Lansing today for the big game today. Huge game. This is a big game, 7-0. Let's go. Go green.
Go
green,
that.
go blue. You got a Care Bear in studio.
Yeah, that's right. We got
Becky's all dressed up. A little happy Halloween show. Becky, you look great as always. Of course, Becky, we've got a special show. We set it up all week long. We got Mike Tomczyk calling in from Paramount Appraisals, talking all about appraisals and what's going on there. When you want to overbid on a house, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about walkout basements, daylight windows, what adds value to a house. Hey, Becky, pools might add value to a house. They never did before. Mike's going to talk about that also.
I am here for a pool. I feel like COVID is, when you had to stay at home, you're like, dang it, I wish I had a pool. So everyone and their mom is on the pool train. So I could see how it could add value now because now it's about the amenities and loving where you live.
Yeah, listen, what a great day to get all the information you need. If somebody's telling you, listen, it's not the time to buy a house. No, it is the time to buy a house. Mike Tomczyk will tell us all about that. He's going to talk about it's okay to overbid and overpay for a house. It's just that the value is the value, right? When the appraiser brings it in, doesn't mean you shouldn't buy the house, Harvey Freed.
If you like the house, you might want to just
Buy
make
the
sure
house.
you've done your due diligence on it for sure, Harry. Also, we've got Lisa Lawson on the line. Hey, Lisa from the office. Good morning, Lisa.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Oh, you're sounding great out there in northern Macomb Township, of course, as always. Lisa's going to have a guest. Doug Andrus is going to come on. Of course, Keller Williams Lakeside later in the show. We've got Nick Calty calling in from Brookstone, Chris Dayton from eXp Realty, and none other than one of my favorite inspectors, who I'm going to have to start referring the heck out of. He's so busy all the time. Jeff Fletcher Inspections. This guy, I love Jeff because he's always on the roof taking pictures and stuff. I don't know. I'm like, Jeff, don't be on the roof when you're calling in for the show, but we'll see how that shakes out.
I mean, an inspection is everything. And me personally, if I'm buying a house, I want my inspector to hurt my feelings about the house I'm about to buy, right?
Yeah.
Even though some people get emotionally attached to properties before they own them, I want the inspector to get in there and be like, this is a piece or it's not a piece or we can do this, we can do that. I want them to hurt my feelings because when you make that investment and this dog and pony show leaves, it's you in that house. And the last thing you want to find out is you have roots in your sewer that are going to now, you're going to have to redo your plumbing and whatever's going to happen from that.
Well, isn't it like getting the answers to the test from the inspector? Okay, right.
Yeah.
He'll go in and he'll check out the house, and he's going to give you the answer to that test, whether you should buy that house, what's going on with the foundation, what's going on with the heating and cooling, what's going on with the roof, what's going on in the attic. Is there mold in that attic, or does it need to be remediated or just cleaned up? I mean, what's going on with that? So if you don't get an inspection, anybody who's listening to this show for now going on 23 years, we always, that's a key word, always encouraged to have a home inspection. Got to have an inspection.
These real estate agents this morning will talk also about the turning point of home prices. You know, we walk into the studio and Adam's guests are talking to me, hey, are these prices going to come down? We can't answer. We'll have the real estate agents answer that all morning long. But there is some slowing of this crazy appreciation. And of course, the National Association of Realtors did come out with some preliminary numbers for 2022 saying don't necessarily look for double-digit increases in home appreciation. Maybe not the 14.3%, but maybe 2.3%. But Harry, that's more on the normal side anyways in a normal market.
You got to do the math. The math says this. The inventory is still down and there's still a plethora of buyers out there. So what does that tell you? Prices aren't going to come down. Now, will they stabilize? Sure, they're going to stabilize. Everything does. However, in the wintertime in Michigan, if properties don't come on the market, you could expect a huge spring. And we're looking forward to not only a huge spring, but a huge 2022 in the home purchase market.
Yeah, I think that the market over the last couple of years has been pretty crazy and different than what we've seen. But Michigan has turned into a 365 state, right? So you have people that aren't afraid to move in the snow because we've had some pretty mild winters, during that time. The 2022, the last couple shows I was curious to get the real estate agents, their predictions for the 2022 landing in there. But the reality is that they're projecting an overall 33% decrease in overall mortgage applications based off of, like the people that are above my pay grade, that's pretty significant. But in that 33%, they are expecting purchases to be up another 9%. Right. In 2022, which means that the interest rates might be changing for us.
Well, Harvey and I had a conversation yesterday. I mean, the outlook in the real estate market for next year and even the year after is very, very strong. You talk about mortgage applications being down. The thing is, you had record low rates, and that triggered an awesome amount of refinancing, and we saved a lot of people a lot of money. Millions of people, millions of dollars. That's what we do. That's our motto. Millions of people, millions of dollars. And millions of dollars saved translates into money going into the economy. So the economy is picking up. It's doing better. And what does that mean for interest rates? The Fed is going to start raising the Fed funds rate, and that's what's going to happen.
Well, here's I want to talk to Lisa too. So
Yeah,
Lisa,
get her in there.
so we were talking about like last week, right? We're talking about how you're in a refinance boom, but you have these new programs that are coming out from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac that are going to be they're going to be specifically to
Lisa, you're giving us
Lisa, you got
feedback.
an echo.
yeah. Anyway, so the point that I'm making is that there are people out there that haven't taken advantage of these lower rates, because that's why these programs exist, because they're finding out that there are people that need it the most that might still be sitting at those 2000 rates that were out in 2000, like at 6%. So what do you think about that? Do you think people have fully taken advantage of these refinances, or do you think there's people out there that haven't?
There's definitely people who haven't, because I've talked to them just this week. People who have rates at 6 and 7. I actually had somebody who called me that still had the old 80-20. His first was at a 7. His second was in double digits. And he never bothered calling to see if there was anything that he could do, because he just assumed that there wasn't. So don't make those assumptions. It's just a phone call. If there isn't anything that we can do, we're going to let you know and be upfront and honest. And every once in a while, there's a situation where it doesn't work out for some reason or another. But for the 99%, we can save a ton of money. We can consolidate debt. We can get you into a lower rate, lower payment, and it just doesn't make sense not to make the phone call.
The other 45 minutes of the show is going to be really real estate focused. And then on this side of the show, we're just going to touch on this refi boom that's still going to be kicking. It's even if the rates go up another 0.5% for crying out loud, it's a great opportunity. We talk about cash out refinances. Those are the loans I'm doing a lot of now. We're looking at families that have now got that equity in the house. They can pay off their student loans. Again, we'll get into millennials and some of the situations with that age group. Now they can use that equity to go ahead and get rid of the mortgage insurance, to take out, maybe pay off that student loan, Harry, and really set themselves up for success.
Well, I think it's easier, Harvey, to talk about the toxic debt that people still have. 18% credit card interest, department store interest, MasterCard, Visa, if you're rolling over your American Express. That's 18%, everybody. Rates are in the threes. Okay, do the math. I mean, you're saving
Right.
15% right there. You're gonna come out with a lower payment than you have right now. Your cash flow is going to be a lot better. But what's the trick? The trick is you got to throw away all the credit cards except for 2. The gas card and a MasterCard or Visa. That's it. Throw the rest of them away. Cut them up, because you don't want to get on that merry-go-round. That hamster wheel's going. You can't use your house as a piggy bank. Yeah, we can help you out once. But, you got to be careful when it goes out to spending. Consumer credit is crazy right now. You got to be careful about that.
Well, a lot of people also with COVID, they were out of work and they had to kind of rely on those credit cards to kind of get them through like a month or two. I mean, it was, unfortunate for a lot of families. So the fact that if you're in a home, you can use your biggest asset to your advantage, to the point that you can save $1,000. I'm helping someone right now, literally, they had a divorce. They inherited some debt that was mutual, part of the agreement. And we're able to refinance that, save $1,000 a month. That's crazy, and shorten the term. I mean, that's not going to be everyone's situation, but why not you? Start the conversation. You're one conversation from changing your life, or you're changing your life, or one relationship and that kind of thing. So it just starts with that conversation, and you don't know what you don't know. And part of that is just reaching out and being like, hey, I'm in a situation. Does this make sense for me? And we're going to look at it objectively and let you know, yes, it does. And can you do X, Y, Z? And this is where you got to go. It's right. It's setting them up for success.
Yeah, I like that. And the FHA buyers, of course, we love FHA homes. It gets so many people and families into housing. They've taken advantage of it over the last, hopefully, handful of years. Maybe now's that opportunity to remove that MIP, that mortgage insurance premium. As we know, on conventional loans, that PMI does fall off. But on an FHA mortgage, it doesn't. So an opportunity to refinance is right now. Also, I like the idea, Lisa, in your wheelhouse, Mishta loans. Hey, you got to pay back that $7,500 either when you refinance the house, or if you sell the house, maybe take a look at paying it now if you got the equity. And as Becky said, reduce the term and get yourself into a new conventional loan.
Yeah, I've actually had a couple clients that bought homes like 2-3 years ago, have so much equity that we've refinanced them into either a shorter term or a lower rate, because the MSHDA rates are a little bit higher than market rate because they're giving you that assistance at time of purchase. So now they've got a lower rate, lower payment, and sometimes a shorter term. And it just took a few years. They don't have to worry about that second lien anymore. It's already gone. So, it's a phenomenal program. We should definitely be looking into it for those who need it.
All right, tons of information to share with you all morning long. We'll take your calls at 248-539-9797. Also out there, Lisa, we'll talk a little bit about the Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae programs. For some first-time home buyers, there's some eligibility, a 3% down conventional. They will give you $2,500 to purchase that new home. Again, different criteria. You could get $1,000, $1,500, and $2,500 options, depending upon where you fit into this mortgage program. You got to call the experts at Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Harry, there's a football game, too, that we're going to be talking about a little bit in this show, too. Why not?
Well, I'm going to tell you it's going to be a rough game, Harvey. The weather's going to be a little bit cold out there. You got pros and cons on both sides. Both teams look a little even to me. We might have the edge at quarterback. They might have the edge in secondary. The lines are about the same, although Michigan wants to say their defense is a little bit better than ours. But our running back is a pretty good running back, Harv. I'm going to tell you. So it's going to be a pretty interesting game, and I'm just hoping that, we come out on top.
Hey, Becky, it's really fun when you got your own she shed out back with your TV and you're doing your thing. Maybe your man cave in the basement, whatever you want to call these things, but definitely covered porches or whatever. But let's talk a little bit about the fun stuff is really home ownership, especially on days like today, whether you're going out to the game and tailgating or going to the game. It's fun to invite people over to your own house, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants to show off, right? You want to, like, when you finally purchase that home, I don't care what it is, your first home, your second home, your 10th home, you've just remodeled it. People love to show off. They want to show you what they have. At the same time, they also like to enjoy it with their family and friends. So when you go through all these things and you spent so much time and invested in your home, of course you want everyone to come over. So why not come over and watch the game today?
That sounds great. All right, we got tons for you here in this jam-packed hour. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. 1-800-LOW-RATE here in the studio, 248-539-9797. We're going to take your calls.
All right, guys.
That's like the best 15
the deal is
I've ever heard. Harry, what is it? Jim Brandstetter and Dan Dierdorf? Yeah, Jim Brandstetter.
What about him?
Alrighty, welcome back to the show. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We're in our 22nd.8 years. That's right. We will be here again in 2022. If you need to save money on a mortgage, call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE. We are powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289. Real easy. Just call us at Capital, 1-800-LOW-RATE, or take all your calls here this morning at 248-539-9797. On the line with us, as we promised, Paramount Appraisals, Mike Tomczyk. Good morning, Mike. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. It's nice to hear you. I wish I was in studio. I'm a little jealous. I didn't know you guys were going to be in there today.
I know. Get in here.
Next time, I promise. But it's nice.
Uh-oh. Where'd you go, Mike?
Oh, well.
Mike,
he got so excited he hung up the phone.
He got so excited. We'll try him again. All right, call back. We're going to have to carry that little bit here. We are going to... Okay, Lisa's still on the line with us. Okay, Lisa, I'll tell you what, Mike Tomczyk will call back. Little audio problem as always here in the studios. That's not a big deal. Hey, Lisa, you know what? Why not dive into what's going out there? We must talk about these millennials. They are born between 1981 and 1996. So you got the younger end of that, Becky.
So I'm a millennial. I always wonder where I fall, where I fall on the spectrum. I'm definitely on the tip of the iceberg for that, for sure.
Well, you're the second-time homeowner then, and that's really what the article led me to is the first-time homeowners, boy, they right now have an unbelievable opportunity. Oh, Mike is back. Mike, can we hear you?
Yeah, see, that's why I wanted to come into studio, but now I'm back now, so here we are.
All right, well, hold off on our millennial talk about purchasing because they've had some good luck and bad luck depending upon, again, are they just buying their first house or second house? But, Mike, let's dive right into appraisals. Harry, I'm a pain in your butt all the time. Let's clarify appraisals.
Not only about appraisals, but just all the time is the key phrase. Mike, what Harvey's trying to refer to is this. We're going to dive right into this. We're going to ask you the hardcore question right now.
Love it. I love
Property values right now. You can get specific because I know you will because you're the man with the information. But generally speaking, where do you see property values going the remainder of fourth quarter and then early into 2022?
Oh, they're going up. I mean, the just basic principles of economics are going to tell you they're going up. We still have a shortage. So every time we have to analyze the market, we have to analyze how many are for sale, how many have sold, and we have to do that kind of analysis. And it's still a severe shortage, which just tells you flat out it's going to continue to go up. Until that can balance out, until we can get a balance, it's going to continue to go up.
So
how
Mike,
much, I can't predict.
Yeah, what that means is there's a shortage of inventory, and there's going to be less inventory. I mean, it still hasn't caught up. We're not at normal inventory levels. Right now, as a matter of fact, as of last week, inventory was still down. So that means pure economics 101. That means people are going to pay more. Now, translate that into appraisal language for a mortgage. What does that mean when people are overpaying for what the market is?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. So people are fighting over getting these properties. So in order to get their bid accepted, they're going to have to come in there and bid more than the actual market value of the property. Okay, so price is what you pay, value is what you get. I'm not going to take credit for that. That's Warren Buffett's little gem. But people are paying more than the value of the home in order to get their bid accepted. Therefore, when I come in there and give a value using previous sales, things that have already happened, the value will come in less, not always, of course, than the purchase price. Okay, so that presents some problems, of course.
Well, it only presents a problem if you think you're going to come in with minimal amount down. If you understand the market, Mike Tomczyk, and you know that that's what's going on, you've already made plans with your mortgage person. You've talked to your realtor about it. Now, the entire mortgage and real estate community, Becky, Lisa, Harvey, Mike Tomczyk, they should be thanking us right now for bringing this information because they're hearing it 3-4 times from everybody else, but they're hearing it from the guy who's got to go out and appraise the property right now, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I'll tell you right now, everyone listen up. This is a very important concept. You should be happy that the appraiser is telling you what the property is worth. You don't want to just come in there and pay crazy amounts of money, way, way, way more than what the property is worth. You want to pay for what the property is worth plus a little bit more, right? Like that's what it should be anyways.
Mike, we run into a lot of situations with square footage. I want you to say it out loud for anyone listening again.
Love it.
The linebacker for us, inside linebacker, he's done a great job these past couple of weeks. He's fast. He's a sideline guy. He's doing a good job fitting the run the past couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to seeing him play today.
Gotcha. All right, Mel, I know you're on your way out, but a lot of coaches in this rivalry haven't made any secret of their disdain for the other side. What are your real feelings about Michigan?
Yeah, I don't like Michigan. The school down the road.
Mel, best of luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Right There's no coach speak right there. Although they'll take.
$70,000 back. Every market is different. Okay, Northwest Livonia is the example I always like to use because that's where I'm from. Northwest Livonia, that's the highest value for pools that I'm finding in any other market. People are paying crazy amounts more for that pool. Now, there is no exact dollar amount. Okay, every market is different. We extract and we substantiate it using market data and numbers. That's what's going to tell us how much the pool is.
So what you're saying, it's circumstantial, right? So every situation is different, just like every appraiser is different, right? So you're going to go out there and look at it one way, and someone else is going to go out there and look at it totally different because they want to use a blue crayon and you want to use a red crayon when you're doing your appraisal, right?
Yes and no. And if you're talking about two different appraisers using a red and blue crayon, we can use different techniques to extract value, but numbers are numbers. I mean, a pool is a pretty simple extraction. It shouldn't vary that much. Okay, so we have different techniques, of course, for the extraction, as I'm saying. But if you're saying red crayon and blue crayon as far as a homeowner or buyer versus an appraiser, then yes, it would be different. We're looking at different things because we're looking at numbers. If you're saying two different appraisers, we may look at something different, but it should be pretty similar.
All right, of course, continue the public service announcements here, Mike. Let's throw it out that we live in Michigan. We love having those on those snowy days when the car's in the garage. Garages add some crazy value to the house, and a lot of times I'll get a caller, and they'll give us a call at the office, and we'll start talking, and they'll say, well, my house is the same, except for I don't have a garage. What kind of value, as a two-car garage, let's even say in a starter home, whether it be 12 to like 1,800 square foot, what kind of value is a two-car garage, whether it be attached or detached?
It's typically 3% per typical, predominant value in the area per car.
And all right, buddy, you got to slow that down for us. You got to slow that down, man. Come on, a little math major here, but slow it down.
Yeah. Math's getting people to turn off the radio. So let's just say this. There's a lot of value in it, okay? You're probably looking at, let's say it's a $200,000 market. You're probably looking close to about $16,000 to $18,000 for a two-car garage. And I'm telling you right now, if you think you're going to build one for that, you're probably wrong.
You're not. We had a guy call in 2 weeks ago. Two-car detached garage. He was getting charged $30,000. Mike Tomczyk.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Oh boy.
The concrete's expensive. Concrete's expensive too. The lumber, everything's really expensive. So again, this is good while we're on this topic. Cost and value are two completely different things. So everyone out there, I understand you pay X amount of dollars to finish your basement or build a garage or build a sweet patio. The value is different, okay? What somebody is willing to pay for that is different than how much it costs.
Also, what's different, Mike, how about that wording, square footage versus living space? Well, it says it right here on the listing. I like the differences here. They sound the same, but they're different, living space and square footage.
Yeah, living space needs to be finished, heated. And I know what you're referring to right now. You want to talk about the number one biggest argument between real estate salespeople and appraisers is that 3-season Florida room, right? Everyone thinks that's going to add square footage. That has to be completely finished to the same quality as the rest of the house, and it must be heated, ventilated, and cooled. Okay, so you have to have HVAC in there. If you have no HVAC in there, or it's not insulated, or it's not the same quality, that is not considered square footage.
248-539-9797. We're up against our second break. When we come back, I know we got Jeff Fletcher on the line. We've got some real estate agents calling in. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back to the show. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Hey, you can call us here in the studio, 248-539-9797. We got Pat Caputo coming in right after us. Then it's Michigan State football with Jim Brandstatter and Dan Deerdorf, and I think they got the broadcast all figured out. It is very exciting here in Michigan. So, again, keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket all day long. Jeff Fletcher, stay on the line if you can. Are you there, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
There he is. Hey, let's go to you right now. Jeff Fletcher Home Inspections. Jeff, one of my favorite inspection guys. I love following you on Facebook. Now, promise me you're not on a roof right now doing an inspection, please.
Not in a roof. Just got done. We're in good shape.
Jeff, 2020 brought on this crazy COVID thing. I mean, it's been going on forever, the overbidding. People are waiving their inspections. What's gone mad with people?
Yeah, it's really funny to see. We get calls after the fact they close, and they say, can you come figure out where this leak is from? Or can you refer us a contractor? And it's really turned into quite a bag of worms for people who are buying a home without an inspection.
Can we say you could do
especially new construction?
Even on new construction, Jeff, one of the things is, too, people can do a pass-fail inspection. You can hire you to go out there, and as Becky said, I think I like how Becky worded it, why not find out everything about the house? Again, then you can either negotiate, pass-fail, and decide what to do from that point forward.
Yeah, at least you have the information to know what's going on with the home, and you can go in prepared. Even if you aren't going to negotiate for it, you can at least go in knowing, hey, I got some things on this list that are going to come up here in the near future I need to invest some money in, so you know to plan for that financially.
Jeff, we know faulty wiring, electrical. What are some of the major problems? Is it the roofing? Is it the heating and cooling? What do we really see here in Michigan that's really jamming up some of these homes?
You know, anything can be fixed. It's just a matter of how much it's going to cost and who's going to pay to fix it. But what we're seeing with this rainy season is a lot of leaking foundations and roofs. So usually the biggest expense for a home is going to be the foundation in terms of money pit type of situations. And then you have the roofing, which is very expensive also. And then that's shortly followed by, heating and cooling problems can be pretty expensive to the tune of a few $1,000s. So, but with this rainy season, people are realizing that without cleaning your gutters out, keeping the grade pitched away from the house, it's really causing problems for leaks in the basement. Even
so I heard you
homes that previously didn't have a problem.
I heard you also say like new construction problems. So that means that you're not exempt from having issues on a foundation. You get those rod holes, possibly the foundation chips. So even with new construction, you are not exempt to having some kind of issue pop up on that house.
So true. We go through new construction pretty frequently and find, there's mold in these buildings because they've been rained on, something that was misframed. And what we find, the demand is so high right now for contractors that subcontractors are being hired that normally wouldn't get work here, but they're kind of having to resort to whoever they can get because they just can't find subs.
Yeah, Jeff, that's a brilliant point. And, from listening to this show for all these years, we're a huge advocate of saying do not waive a home inspection. And we've had a lot of deals flip because of home inspections, and somebody will come right back in on the backside of that offer and then waive the inspection. Maybe they don't know what they don't know. Maybe they don't know that the inspection didn't pass, and then they waive the inspection and people are moving into those homes. Then you're getting the call after the fact. We just believe you can do a home inspection. Inspections don't necessarily kill transactions. They inform people. It's like getting the answers to the test up front.
That's so true. People kind of, with even new construction, get overconfident that things are going to be in good condition. And really, waiving the home inspection, you can certainly do that. But, for the investment that you make in a home inspection, it's a very good return on your money.
Also, I want to throw this out there. Of course, winter just around the corner here. We got our furnaces on now. How do you check an air conditioning unit, or how does that go down on a home inspection during the winter time?
Yeah, during the winter time, you shouldn't run an air conditioner when it's below 65 degrees for 24 hours because the oil becomes gelatinous and can actually blow the compressor. So you're looking for what they call blowback on the high pressure line, which are all the copper connections. That's when the oil has sprayed out. Things are going wrong. You can have an HVAC contractor do pressure tests on it.
You know what I realized as we talked to the home inspector? I don't want to get you off the air. I just got a million questions. I got other callers to get to.
Between the appraisers and the home inspector, they work for the client. They work for the people buying the house. They work for you. So when somebody comes back and says something to you, take that. Don't yell at somebody. Don't have your realtor say, well, they're just trying to kill the deal. No, this is information you need when you're buying a house. I mean, it's the most important purchase, the largest purchase you're making in your life. You need this information. And we bring bring you this information to set you up, Becky, for
Yeah,
what? For
I mean,
success.
it's important for an inspector to hurt your feelings on what's going on. Now, not be an alarmist, but obviously just hit you with the facts. Like, this is what you're dealing with. And if you really love this house and you have the capital to fix X, Y, Z that he is addressing in this moment, okay, then great. The house is for you. But if you don't, then you really need to take a step back and think, does this fit in my budget? Is this house everything? Is it checking all my boxes? So they're not there to be an alarmist. They're there to be a realist for you and just hit you with the facts. And if you have to put yourself in a position to waive a private home inspection to get the deal, then you don't need that house.
Yeah, somebody's setting you up for failure right there. If they're demanding that you waive an inspection. Now, get the pass-fail, right, Harv?
Get the pass-fail and move on. Jeff Fletcher, thank you so much for joining us again. Jeff Fletcher, Fletcher Inspection. Just Google him. The guy's great. He's got a whole office staff and one of the top guys out there. Thanks a lot, Jeff, for joining us. We really appreciate you. Alrighty, here, you got it on 97.1 The Ticket. This is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We're going to take some calls. Let's move off now. If we can, we're going to move off to Don Carey, who's been on the line. Hey, Don, what's shaking?
Yes, sir. How do you get a hold of that Jeff Fletcher?
Yeah, just like I said, go to Fletcher Inspections. You can punch in Jeff Fletcher Inspections. His name will pop right up on Google, and give Jeff's office a call. Definitely leave a number, and his staff will get right back with you. He's one of the top guys in the area, and I really appreciate your call in to this morning, Don. Great.
My question.
Go ahead.
My question is, buying a home in Detroit, is it required that it's you get a city inspection? Is that required, or can you waive that?
I believe the city. I thought the city certs were back on in Detroit. Now, if you're renting the place, that's I believe 100%. I'll tell you, I have not had the city. You know what? My last Detroit, I
had
can't
one
say
and
100%.
They did. I just had one and they had to do. There was a big issue with the seller not doing whatever they needed to do, so it did delay our closing. So to that point, I do believe so. Yes. So we will check on that. We will also get you in contact with a good realtor and Jeff after the show to make sure that we're setting you up for success. So that way we don't have to walk the plank.
How do I do that after the show?
All righty. Well, definitely, we'll give you a call. They write your number down. So thanks for the call in, Don. All righty.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's keep the calls coming here. If we don't have to break quite yet, let's just keep the calls going. We've got John calling in about an appraisal question. Let's see if we can handle it. Go ahead, John.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, just a quick question. Heard the appraisal gentleman earlier. We just had an old deck taken off the back of our house, put a new composite deck on, aluminum rails, the whole 9 yards, in the exact same footprint as the previous deck. So it's no bigger, it's no smaller. It looks, identical. What's the impact on something like that when we're putting in new material? Because I just got my notice. All it is a letter, but Oakland County let me know that through the permitting process, they're aware that we have the work done. So I'm just curious how something like that works when it's kind of equal space for equal space.
Yeah, did you pull a permit, or did they sort of get you after the fact?
Oh, no. We went through a contractor, and they, permits for the footings, permits for the deck work, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I know. You just changed materials. I'm going to tell you, you just replaced a deck for a deck.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody wants to come in and pay more because you have a
composite deck, the truck decking. Yeah.
If you have the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip now, and before it was just a regular deck, if somebody wants to pay for that, that's okay. But if not, it's a deck replacing a deck. It's good for you because you've upgraded and it's good for your quality of life and everything. But, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to get much in value out of that deck. When you go to resell it. Now, your house is supposed to have a deck. It had a deck. You've got a deck now. We're talking about a deck here.
It's like G.I. Joe, and knowing is half the battle.
I'm talking about practice.
When he goes to sell it, he's going to get more money for it for sure. All right, you got it here on 97.1 The Ticket. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Keep it here. We come back with all your questions.
I'm talking about practice. I'm talking about practice. You don't understand that.
No, I do. I know.
Allen Iverson.
Coach.
No, Allen Iverson.
Oh, well.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah, we're back. You're listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. If you are stuck on 696, just kick up the radio.
Or 96, Harvey.
96, anywhere.
going
Any of
out.
these
Yeah, going up
highways.
to Lansing.
Yeah, take that Okemos exit, go the back way. Let's go.
Call us here at the studio. We got some secret tricks there, or hit it on your ways or whatever, but definitely got some time before the ball game starts.
Stop at that McDonald's, get a cup of coffee, get some. We know what you're putting in that coffee this morning up in East Lansing. We know that. We do.
Let's roll off to Doug Andrus, Keller Williams Lakeside, one of the largest offices in Michigan. Doug, thanks and good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Capital people. How are you?
Great, Doug. Doug, what's going on in this marketplace? You know, we came in the studio this morning. The guy's like, hey, should I overpay $200,000 for a house? Is this market slowing? Is it an inventory thing? Give us your take.
Well, first take, we are just wrapping up another record month for our company. On Friday when I left at 4 o'clock, we were at 305 closings. We'll probably have another 15 or more to add to it. So I can't complain about an October with over 300 closings. We've been every month consistently 300 to 325, 350 closings every month this month, solid. And it's been churning, and we haven't really seen any real slowdown. I think what we're seeing more of is more millennials rushing into the market.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
They're looking at, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, we were talking about it earlier. So there's these different age groups of the millennials, the younger, the first-time home buyers. Now you're getting the older millennials now that are actually going to sell that house and take that equity and buy that bigger house out there in Macomb.
They move up. Exactly. Now we've also got baby boomer, older guys like me that are going, I can get what for my house? I'm out of here. So we've got that churning going with people that are downsizing as well, that are creating a better flow of inventory. The inventory is selling quickly, but it's a steady flow of inventory.
Doug, do you see any change in
the
the
higher end market is really been a tough one to pin down. There's homes that have been on the market for a year, others that come out in the same price point, and they sell in a week. You know, it's a tough one to gauge. And I'm talking about the $1.5 million and up type stuff, the big stuff, $2.5 million, $3 million. You know, that's a little bit tougher. But your average stuff that's under 500, if they're in a great shape, they're selling quickly.
Doug, there's a lot of real estate agents out there. What separates your team and what you're telling your people, out there? What separates all the different agents out there nowadays?
You know, we've got some great competitors. We're all good. Some are better than others, but ours is based on super training for our people. You know, and we work hard on it. We work hard on building people's skills. You know, every moment I have with an issue with a client, or with one of my agents, or whatever it might be, I use it as a teaching moment for the agent. I don't solve their problem. I teach them how to solve their problem. So I think training is at the heart of it, our culture, the Lakeside culture.
Doug, we always appreciate your feedback. And again, we got Doug Andrews, Keller Williams Lakeside. If you're looking to buy a house in Macomb County, definitely give them a shout. Got tons of great agents out there all over. And Doug, we'll get you back in the studio here again. We haven't heard from you, so thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Hey, it's always good to talk to you, Harvey.
All right,
Harvey and Harry.
Same.
You guys are both there, I think.
Yeah, we are. Thanks.
Definitely here, my man, on a green Saturday.
Throw it out there. Thanks, Doug.
Wonder who he's voting for, right?
Yeah.
All right. As the show continues on, Nick Halty, Brookstone Realtors. Good morning, Nick. Thanks for staying on the line. What's happening?
Hey, good morning. How is everyone?
Really good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Hey, Nick, I always wanted some feedback from you. Hey, look, there's some scared sellers out there, Nick. Give me a strategy, what you and I have been talking about, and, give us some confidence. Like, you don't want to sell your house and then you got nowhere to go.
Right. That's the number one question is that when sellers go to sell their home that they're asking me is, where are we going to go? And the answer to that is, Harvey and I were talking, and a good idea is to put your home up for sale with contingency on you finding a new home. So what you can do is basically go out aggressively and look for a new home and have maybe 3 to 4 weeks where if you can't find that home, there's no risk. You're not going to lose out. And any buyer knows that when they're purchasing your home, it is contingent on you finding a new home.
Some people think they can sell their homes on their own. And Nick, and of course, you and I are working on a transaction. Boy, it really helped the seller get a little bit more money out of the house. And again, you worked out a nice negotiation with them. So you're flexible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that was the first thing I told her. I said, you have everything set up. You're selling your home to your friend, but let me come in there and do the hard work for you. And you can just make your money and you can find out, work towards buying your next home.
That's fantastic stuff. All right, Nick Calty joined us again from Brookstone Realty. Nick, one of my favorite guys. Let's have lunch next week. And again, fantastic, your professionalism. We really appreciate you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, and go green.
All right, there you go. We got a little green shout out there, Brookstone Realty. They're not playing around. All right, as we're running out of time here, none other than EXP Realty, Chris Dayton. Chris, what's happening?
What's up, guys? Go green.
Go white.
It seems like it's a consensus right now, right?
Ooh, I think I'm more of a Michigan guy.
Hey, listen, you know what? Really, we should be objective. Wolverines need mortgages, too. They do.
Care Bear stare.
With higher rates. Oh, no, we can't
higher
do
rates.
like that.
Oh, boy.
Chris, give us some feedback on the real estate world here. And, of course, we're going into, as Becky says it's a 365er now. There is no more fall season or winter. And, again, if you're thinking about buying in the spring, you might want to start in the winter.
Well, you might want to start now. But I did actually have something for you guys. Listening to Jeff Fletcher talk, you guys talking about inspections. And it's kind of not – it doesn't have to be an all or nothing. In fact, if you want the go green strategy for winning a home, here's how you do it. You write the offer. You say, hey, we're going to do an inspection. But what's the seller's concern? The seller's concern is that you're going to try to renegotiate after they've accepted your offer. That's why they don't want to do that. They just want their money. So tell them, hey, I want to do an inspection, and I'm willing to cover any repairs up to like $2,500. So none of the small stuff is going to come into play. I'm only going to look at the house to see if there's something major wrong with it, so I don't get stuck with it. And you, Mr. Seller, can know about it too. So that's a win-win. You get to do your inspection, and you get to appease the seller knowing that they're not going to come back in a negotiation. You can move forward, and you can have the peace of mind that you need. So that's what I tell my clients to do so they can be competitive.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about that pass-fail right now where you're putting your clients in that position of strength. But like you said, it's all about how you're saying it and how you're delivering the message, right? It's how you deliver the message, right? Everyone wants to win in this situation. And you're listening to Chris Dayton right now. He's also the co-host of the Building Walls podcast. So if you ever out there, check it out on YouTube. And Chris will be also joining us in studio November 20th. I'm really excited to get you in the studio, and maybe Chad will be joining us. I'm not sure. But I'm definitely, and you got to listen. I mean, when you're doing the inspections, you don't want to waive them. You want to make sure that you are looking at it, like we talk about, hurt our feelings about the house. You got to know what's up.
Yeah, good. I cannot wait to see you guys. Thanks for having me on. Go green. Let's go for a Spartan win. I'm going Spartans by 11 today.
All right. Hey, Chris, we'll see you here in the studio. Thanks for calling in. Always appreciate. All right, we're going to bring Lisa Lawson back on the line. A little reminder out there, as we talked about, water can be pretty nasty out there. It can seek into walls and into your basement and your foundation. Definitely check out your grade. Clean those gutters out. Do all that fall cleanup. You got a few weeks left here to get all that fall cleanup done. And, why not plant those spring bulbs now? You get those those bulbs in there now. And they'll be really pretty at your door, your entrance, and as spring rolls around, maybe it ends up getting you a few $1,000s more for the house. Lisa, you're still there?
Yes, I'm here.
All righty, give us your last thoughts, Lisa, as we go into this break here.
I think it was a great show. I love being able to hear everybody's thoughts on the market and how exactly best move forward. And hope everyone has an amazing weekend. And I'm going to say go blue.
Yeah,
everyone
Lisa.
else seems to be go green. I'm go blue.
Yeah.
But everyone have a great and safe football tailgating weekend.
Exactly, Lisa. You are true blue. You're the Google of the office. We appreciate your opinion, but I'm going to tell you this. I need a Spartan win, Lisa. I really do. This is
I know. My nephew is at state. He probably doesn't appreciate me saying go blue, but
Let's go, everybody. But it's important to be safe out there. Listen, everybody drive carefully. If you're overserved, call an Uber. Let's go. Let's have some fun, but let's always be safe, right?
Absolutely.
All righty. We always talk about home ownership, doing it the right way. And I hear that Go Blue Michigan song. There it is.
That's wonderful.
All righty.
Hey, he's forgetting who pays the bills here.
Uh-oh. Hey, keep it here on 97.1. We see Pat Caputo coming up. He's doing his warm-up exercises right outside the studio. Keep it here on 97.1 all day. We got that Michigan game broadcasting live at noon. And, of course, the pregame starting at 11 o'clock. Be sure to call Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Get all this great advice. We'll hook you up with all these great appraisers, home inspection companies, all these great real estate agents. Thanks for joining us. Again, we'll see you next week. For Becky Alley and Harry Glantz, I'm Harvey Freed. Have a great day.